Thanks for tuning in to another Nindie Nation Let's Play. Appreciate you checking us out today, and if you've been listening to the podcast over at Nindie Nation on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, you've heard me talk quite a bit about Skyforce Reloaded. We're going to check out a couple of different levels today. First, I'm going to have to load it up as a different profile so that you can see the intro, because I think it's important to see three probably different aspects of this game. The first one, we're going to see the introduction and first level or so, and then we're going to take a look at some late game levels in it. So this is a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up or shmup developed by Infinite Dreams, also known as iDreams. They are a developer out of Poland, and this game has an interesting history. It originally started as a web OS and handheld phone game back in 2004, quickly ported to iPhone upon its release in, when was that, 2007, I believe. And so the first level you'll see is an introduction. You can see I've got a couple of different abilities. I've got my main gun. I've got some wing cannons as well. And I love how this game just jumps right into it. At first glance, it might not look like anything too special, but I hope you can appreciate how beautiful the graphics look. So what we're playing right now is not the original Skyforce, actually. Over the past decade or so since the game's original release, it was ported to Windows, it was ported to Mac, it was ported to multiple different phones and mobile devices, and then in about 2014, a game called Skyforce Anniversary was released, and that's kind of the putting a pin in the game final release of Skyforce in its original incantation. In its original incarnation. What we're looking at here is Skyforce Reloaded, and this is taking essentially what iDreams thought was their completed title and rebuilding it with a lot more leveling mechanics, a lot more power-ups and things like that, and new enemies. I love this lady. As a villain, she reminds me of like Red Alert, some of those old games back in the day for PC. Just like your standard like Soviet overlord or whatever you want to call her. You'll notice there's no HUD elements right now. That does change once we get into the main game. Let's see how long I can last here. Ooh, that's gonna wipe me out.
I'm so sorry, but the rescue team is on vacation. Just kidding, we're on our way.
Zing-a-zam. So anyways, if you're on the Switch right now, you'll see that there are two titles available. There is Skyforce Reloaded, which is what we're playing and what I strongly recommend. And then there's also Skyforce Anniversary, which is what I was talking about earlier, the 2014 game recently released on Switch that is a little bit more pared down of an experience. It doesn't have as many levels, as many power-ups, as many RPG mechanics. And so this game is really meant, even though you only see, 13 levels, it's really meant to play over and over and over and over, not just chasing scores, but you'll see a little bit more in a minute. So we're going to play the first level, and you'll see what happens as you have to build back up your ship. Take a look at some of those objectives. Every level has 4 primary objectives that you must complete in addition to beating the level itself before you can move on to the next stage. Those objectives include shooting down 70% of the planes, 100% of all the enemies, which is very tricky until you've powered up your weapons, as well as rescuing the various humans that are standing around on the ground. Very housemark of them, if you ask me. And then finally, making it through the level completely untouched, which is, again, very difficult if you don't have enough power-ups. You'll see when I load into my stage, or my save, here in a couple minutes, that this screen looks very different. There becomes multiple ships that you can select from, multiple power-ups that are single-use, as well as little modifiers and that are both permanent and short-term. So look at this little measly pea shooter. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is get all objectives. You'll notice that I'm having to reach out and grab each star that falls. This is your primary currency that you use to upgrade your ship. very quickly on, you obtain a magnet ability to start soaking up some of these stars, and you'll see that in my current play that I'll load up here in a minute. You can see it takes a few minutes to knock down some of these enemies. Just wait until you see what a fully loaded gun looks like in this game. It's quite different. But one of the most important things I'm focusing on right now is getting these little wing power-ups. The wing power-ups will continue to increase my rate of fire until eventually, if you look at the top of the screen under the score, you'll see the various levels going up. And once I've shot down enough enemies to make that white and blue line fill up, you'll see the next wave of enemies drop a potential power-up to grab. And that is what increases the speed. See how hard it is for me to shoot down some of these enemies. Specifically that car, that's kind of like a little bonus thing I'm trying to grab. Gives you some more points. See, there's the glowing ship right there. Oh no, we gotta get it, can't let it get away. Did I get it? I don't know if I got it, might have missed it. So any of these enemies that are glowing, see this, they're dropping, and now my rate of fire increases a little bit. And looks like I haven't missed any humans yet, so we're gonna keep that up. Try to collect this guy. I love the music in this game. Just listen to it for a minute.
Weapon upgrade.
If you're a fan of Housemarque games like Super Stardust, Resogun, games like that on the PlayStation platform, you'll see a lot of similarities here, a lot of aesthetics that I think are similar, as well as the voices, the kind of robotic female voice that's egging you on throughout the game, giving you updates on your progress. Come on. There we go.
Weapon upgrade.
And
Human rescue.
you'll also see rescuing humans on its own. Here we go.
You should know why I'm here.
I love that lady. So as you play through the game, you run into her almost every stage, and she always has a bigger, badder ship, and she's always expressing her frustration with her inability to take you down, and it's always funny. Luckily, this boss, I don't think, has any rockets that'll home onto me, so I just gotta avoid the bullets and shoot her down. Now, if you don't want any kind of gameplay spoiled, you might want to tune out after this level, but I mean, we're talking about a shmup. It's not like super story heavy or anything, so I want to show you what the late levels look like after you've played the game for 25, 30 hours as I have, so you can see just how much there is to upgrade and how different these bosses could look. If you look in the top right corner, you'll see that I did take down 70% of all the enemies, which is why that first skull and crossbones is lit up, but I missed a couple of enemies, so it's impossible for me to get the 100%, and so that's why that one's crossed out. I also got hit, which is why the heart has a cross through it, but I did rescue all of the humans. There's usually like 10 to 13 in a level. Now let's see what she says when I shoot her down.
Not the end of it.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, I guess it's technically not. I mean, it's the end of that. It's the end of that boss. Okay, so 124 stars collected. Give you an idea of what kind of upgrades you can get. Completing a stage for the first time gets you the trophy, and then completing all 4 objectives opens up the next difficulty of that level. So you can see, here's my 4 criteria here. You aren't graded on the amount of stars you can get in every level, but it is important. That's probably the most critical thing, is to get as many stars as you can, because that's how you upgrade and go back in with more powerful weapons. So after that, see, I got 2 of those medals. And now I can go into the next stage if I want to. I can also go to the hangar and upgrade my ship. And upgrading the ship, you'll see each of these little pillars where I can upgrade my main cannon, shoot a little faster, have a little stronger bullet, upgrade my health. I would strongly recommend upgrading your health a little bit, but really going after the cannons first. and then of course the magnet. And you can see some of these prices are get up there once I fill out all those little chevrons underneath the main cannon words. It will load up another whole pillar of upgrades. And so really most of the items, the main cannon, the wing cannons, the magnet, the missiles, can all be upgraded 40 times, I believe, 30 to 40 times. And then the laser, energy shield, and mega bomb are each items that can be used one time per level, or at least they are consumable. So you can either purchase uses of these before the level starts using your stars, or you can find them in the levels with things that you've unlocked. So I'm not going to play any more of this game. I want to get back in and show you some of the things you can collect. But before I do that, if I go to the main screen, you'll see I can go into the objectives. And this is another like trophy sense that you can get through the game of, I just shot down 98 enemies in that level. As you upgrade, you get these diamonds. The diamonds can unlock more permanent upgrades. The point that I'm trying to drive home here is that there are constantly little carrots at the end of the stick waiting for you that you can chase down. And with that, let's go check out what the game looks like inside of my save. I will be right back. Okay, now we're going to load up the save that I currently play on so you can get an idea of what the end of the game looks like in this glorious game developed by Infinite Dreams. Now, caveat here, if you do not want to see what items and abilities are available to you, go ahead and tune out now and just go buy the game. It is, I think it's $14.99 on the Switch, and it's one of my favorite games of the year. That being said, spoiler warning, alert, all that stuff. Let's dive into what some of the collectibles are. So the trophies. The trophies you get for completing levels, so you can see how many times it's taken me to beat some of the different levels. Usually 3 or 4 tries, and I can complete a different stage. In addition to that, those don't really do much for you, but the objectives do. So the objectives you get by, you see I've shot down over 25,000 enemies at this point. I've also, blown up all the boxes. Gold means they're completely finished. What's this one? Collect all of the medals. So that's going to be the objectives I mentioned earlier on in the game. The gold and the blue cards I'll show you here in just a second. The aircrafts I'll show you as well. The tournaments are really fun. Those are only available on the weekend, and they are just like any other roguelike kind of game. They are the same level that everybody has access to, but depending on the different abilities that you've acquired, you'll definitely have an upper hand in chasing some of those scores. Some of the different ships you can get, I love some of the names of them. They change permanent stats, and you get awarded for beating each level with each ship. So just take a look at, how many opportunities you have there. The standard ship, you can see once I acquired a new one, I kind of stopped using the original, because the other ones, rescue speed for collecting the humans, I don't have this one unlocked yet. Maybe we'll find it while we're playing today. Increasing damage. This one really carried me through a lot of the game. The Ironclad getting 50% more health at the expense of a little bit of speed. And then I have not used the one that gives me much more speed. There is one level that would really benefit from this. The max fire rate and the ace of spades are the two that I've been using the most. The caveat is that 1 or 2 hits and you are toast in these ships. But starting out with maximum fire rate is a big help in some of the later stages, as is increased magnet power to pull all the stars off the screen and finding more cards. So what are the cards, you ask? Well, let's take a look real quick. The cards themselves, the blue ones are items that I have found, and you will find them in a level, and usually you get a cooldown of about 15 minutes in the game. And they do things like help you find more cards, give you more stars. I love it when I get that one. Giving you a maximum fire rate so you don't have to chase down those upgrades throughout the stages. And then some of the permanent upgrades include always having an initial extra check mark next to your fire rate, finding more cards, increasing the rescue rate. There's a lot of things here that can really help out throughout the game, and just another way that the game continuously gives you little advantages here and there that really add up over time. So let's dive into the game real quick and take a look at the same first level that you just saw a minute ago. So you can see I have done a lot in this game. The tournament, unfortunately, is not available right now. I did not have time to record this over the weekend. But the hangar, you can see, I've played this game a lot, see how many things there are available to upgrade. The only thing I have left, are we going to complete it right now? Are we going to get full completion in this Let's Play? Look at that. I have fully upgraded everything in my main ship, but there's still a lot more to do in the game. So we'll dive into the first stage. I'm going to play it on the insane difficulty, which gives you more stars and a lot more points. Points don't do too much for you in the game. It's just to chase a score. But the stars make a huge, huge difference. So let's dive in.
Begins.
So you can see I have a lot more options on this screen now. I will always start with one shield, one laser, and one mega bomb. So what's neat about this game is you can fire with the A button or the ZR button, the trigger. And so it frees up your thumb if you switch over to the trigger button so that you can use B, Y, and X across these three items to use your power-ups. The different planes, I'm not going to do the max fire rate because I want to make sure I get through this level, and those make it a little more risky. So we'll do the main cannon damage up, I think, or maybe we'll do the Swift Justice. I haven't done any of those yet. And then for the items, we're going to use the one that says brings good fortune in all aspects. So let's dive in. So immediately you can see, look, I've got the missiles that'll help take out enemies right out the gate. Each of the ships also have a different spread of weapons, and so I haven't really seen this one yet, but that little triangle pattern that it has is great. I really like that. Alright, starting to upgrade our guns right out of the gate. See, there's another one. You can see I'm already almost halfway to max firepower for the level. You can also see the three elements of the HUD in the top left corner. That's where my shield, laser, and mega bomb are. The mega bomb is great. I use it primarily as a defensive item because it will clear out all of the bullets on the screen. The shield is obviously a timed shield. Its only weakness is heat-seeking missiles. Those will always penetrate the shield, but may not damage you. May just lose the shield. Look at that. I've already almost got the weapon all the way upgraded. Great. Right as it said it on the screen. And look at that little car. It's toast. You can see I'm a lot stronger than I was in the last game. And let me tell you how therapeutic this game is. Now, see this little cube right here? I'm going to grab it, and it's going to bring up a really dumb AI partner. Look at that. He's just going to get roasted by all those. Oh, I just got one. I love the notion that you can bring up an AI-controlled second player, but it rarely does anything of value. He usually almost dies right away. So if you look again in the top right, you can see I haven't gotten hit yet. I've been taking out all of the enemies. I haven't Ooh, almost hit that missile. And I haven't missed any of the humans, so we're doing good on this run of the first level in the insane difficulty. Mowing these guys down. I'll do a more difficult level afterwards so you can see where some of the challenge comes in. Are we already at the boss? Here we go. Watch me roast this guy. Bam. Use my shield. Ooh. Oh, he got me. See how the heart's missing now? Oh, I could have used my shield and I wouldn't have lost that, that heart. Oh well.
Stage complete.
So 663 stars for that run. I like to play levels that will give me closer to like 1,200 per run. Now that I have bought all of the permanent upgrades, I will really focus on buying more single-use power-ups because those make a huge difference when you are chasing some of the late-game stages. I think level 7 is my favorite, so we'll dive into that one. Same thing here, stars, points, insane, and right now my current goal is to hopefully find some random cards or ship parts, so you'll see little gold medals if it's a ship part that I can find, or you will see a blue or gold card. There's still like 3 different gold cards to find, and I think, and the blue cards you can find at any time. Although I don't think I've ever had 2 at once. So I only got 663 or 36 stars in the last run, and this time I'm already spending 300 out of the gate to buy a couple more shields. The laser's fairly cheap, but the Mega Bomb is really expensive. Let's dive in. I really like this gun. So that little guy up there, floating up there, that is an extra shield, which I will gladly take. And that little yellow thing that I'm going to try to fly over, these fill up a lot slower, but this is going to give me a laser. So see, it's a good thing I didn't spend 200 stars on it last time. Is there much of a benefit to still saving the humans? I think the more humans you have, the better luck you'll have finding items, although I have no confirmation of that, nor have I researched it. Squeeze through there. Oh, look, there's a card right there. See that blue guy? Oh, and here's an extra shield. This is going to be really helpful. Whoa. So those missiles are probably the most dangerous thing in the game, and I think we're going to have to use a shield. See how I'm just mowing through these guys right now, and it's about to run out. Oh, I missed a human. I think there's a lot going on here. This actually isn't the level I thought it was. The level I'm thinking of starts over water. And you have to fight a couple of aircraft carriers, and this level might not have it was. So now that I missed one human, I'm not really worried about getting the rest of them. This portion is pretty difficult, so I'm just trying to navigate through it. These buildings are impossible to destroy early on in the game. Now I can just cut right through them. And so now, you hear how she said chain lost. Now I can't get 100% of the enemies. That's okay, because I've already received that medal in the earlier run. So you can see I've got 4 shields right now, and if you don't use them, you lose them. So you might as well use them whenever you have these things. Why am I rescuing these guys if I can't get the medal now? Well, it's just because I am a good person. Oh, gonna use a shield here. Bam! I don't think so. Missiles. Ooh. Almost ran out. This part is tough. And these big guys are tough. Please. So I can squeeze through here. I'm using a shield. That guy wasn't wanting to let me through. I can't wait to see how many stars I've received in this level. Quite a few. Ooh! And those things are almost always a one-hit kill, those missiles. And they kind of come out of nowhere. I can't wait to see what my blue card is. I really hope it's extra stars. That's always helpful. Again, even though I've collected all of the permanent.
Stage complete.
Look at that, 1,533. What do we get here? Random power-up at mission start. Cool, let's see what it is. We'll do one more level and then call it for today's Let's Play. I don't think I introduced myself at the top. I am Jeff, one of the co-hosts of the Nindie Nation podcast. We're a weekly show dedicated to all Nindies and everything independently developed on Switch. And I think we're going to try out one of the levels that I have yet to beat. Level 11 is pretty tough. So see, this one, I still haven't rescued all the people, and I haven't stayed untouched. And to try to get a little closer to that, I'm going to buy a couple of shields. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, what's my random power-up? Ooh, an extra Mega Bomb. That's helpful. I don't think I'm going to give up my health, though. Maybe I will. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get rid of the Brings Good Fortune. And I'm going to get the pilot that, this one, Kate Brush, paints over your first scratch. One more chance to stay untouched. And then we're just going to max these out so that we can use them a bunch. And hopefully get through this trying to stay untouched and also trying to save all of the humans. That's our primary goal this run. So I'm going to let enemies get by me if need be in favor of rescuing the humans. See if I can get over to that red Mega Bomb. These things take a while to fill up. I don't want to miss these humans. I gotta take these guys out so they don't hit me over there. So I missed that Mega Bomb, but look at that, I got an extra shield. And since I was already full on shields, it went ahead and deployed the shield upon picking it up. Can't miss this guy. Whoa. Let's see these. Whoa. Like to shoot out 3 in a row, making my life very difficult. Nice. I used to be a little annoyed with how loud those guys yell, but, you know, then I tried to put myself in their shoes, and it's like, you're witnessing all this happening over your head, and there's a ship coming by that can just use a big rope to pull you off the ground, and I would probably be excited too. Oh, it's tough. Squeeze it. Oh, good. Deployed my shield automatically, because that would have been a time I was thinking about using it. I'm going to take this thing out and see if I can sneak in there. Right. Haven't missed any humans yet, guys. I don't know if I can squeeze through there. Oh no, I'm going to miss a human. Got him. This level might be the one where there are also humans. Oh, there's one way over there. So maybe on the left side. Watch how he's sad and then he gets happy when you get closer to him. And he gets a smiley face. Now the reason I'm being so liberal with my shield is keep in mind I have minus 50% health right now, so the slightest attack could take me out. So you gotta be careful. This is a really hard boss too, if I recall correctly. Maybe this one doesn't have a boss. I get them confused. I've played this game a lot, you guys. Oh, getting another Mega Bomb would really help. When you're in bullet hell, it's a savior. Oh yeah, this tank is really hard. This tank has a couple of attacks that are almost impossible to dodge. Oh, and there's a ship part. I really don't want to die in this level. Really don't want to die. We're going to take that out. We're going to take that out. Alright, doing good. Oh, can't miss this guy. When this thing fires, it's brutal. at me too. Alright, we're out of shields, boys. We can do it. We can do it. Getting close. Getting close. Take out one of those missiles. Got him. Take out the other one. Alright, it's done. We are on red alert. We still got a little bit more. It's gonna do one real cheap move here I hate. Alright, stop this one time. Come on, come on. Oh man, things are getting crazy. Oh no. Oh, we almost did it. That is quite unfortunate, isn't it? Well, I guess you can see where some of the difficulty still lies. But look at that. I did save all the humans, so I got that additional medal. Take a quick second to show you where some of my stats are. Random power up at mission start did help me, although I didn't end up using that last item. I want to show you one of my statistics, if I remember where that is. So here they are. So I've played this game quite a bit. Like I said, I think I've got over 30 hours in it. Haven't played the multiplayer though. Anyways, that is Skyforce Reloaded for the Nintendo Switch. I believe it is $14.99 on the eShop, and I strongly recommend it. This game is an absolute blast. Until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Nindie Nation, the podcast, weekly show dedicated to independently developed games, co-hosted by my good buddy Josh. You can find him at _thebrant on Twitter. You can find me at Nindie Jeff. You can find our podcast at Nindie Nation on Facebook, Twitter, and here on YouTube. And until next time, keep those Joy-Cons synced.